Good morning, Team Messy. So today we're going to talk about hops. I have these hops. I'm gonna maybe not show you the brand name, um, because as I've looked at the farm that I got this from, they do have an organic farm, but they also have a conventional farm. And realistically, it's pretty hard to have like a mass farm of any kind, especially a conventional mass farm that's not going to have overlap into your organic space. So these are probably, I'm not probably going to buy from this brand again, but they were the easiest to learn about hops from on the internet, and their website was the easiest to use. And I just, as a disabled person, I only have so much energy to deal with y'all's disabled unfriendly websites. So so my money is going where I can manage to spend it. There's so many websites that are not easy to actually buy things on. Um, so I did get this from the organic side of their business. I got 5 different ones in the smallest amount. I got them in pellets. I didn't even know about pellets, but hops pellets are made. In this case, they're made on the farm because it's a big operation, and so they just harvest them and then they take them and they smush them up. Presumably, because if you're making large batches or if you're mass producing at any level, even if you're a small commercial producer, you would want your hops volume to be and weight to be as clear as possible, as consistent as possible. And I get where, having a bunch of flowers that could weigh any amount of um, weight could be a detriment to doing that. And also just in terms of storage space, if you're going through a lot of hops, you want things to be condensed as much as you can. This probably also helps with pelletizing, probably also helps with just shelf stability and non-perishability. Um, so anyway, I'm going to open each of these and do a little smell test. This one is the Strata type. And what I have done is I've gone onto the website because it's not on the label. All these labels are just like all the same. They don't have the qualities of the particular one that I bought. So what I did is I went on the website and I've written down what the notes are about it. So this one is peach, strawberry, citrus pine, bubblegum, and dank. So, and the alpha acids, if you're new to hops like I am, the alpha acids are one of the important features. And basically what I want to do as a beginner is just know like how bitter is it going to get on me, and then like kind of what are the notes. So if I'm making a real fruity kombucha, like which ones of these are the best for that? If I'm making a more herby kombucha or a darker kombucha, then what's the best one for that? I don't anticipate making a lot of that, but I did buy one of each of these just so that I have it and I can always just freeze it and keep it around. And these are in Ziploc containers too. So zipper containers, I should say. So this one with, and who knows what bubblegum and dank go together on. I don't even know, especially if with citrus. I don't know. Let's see. So I'm going to open this up. And they look, whoa, I can smell it like straight out of the gate. I can smell these. Okay, so they look like this, like, rabbit food essentially. They're not quite all the same size, but they tend to be about a 1/4 inch. Most of them are about a 1/4 inch. It looks like they come through an extruder and they don't really care what size they are. So I guess you're measuring them out by weight most of the time. Because this one's quite a bit larger. It's like a 5/8 of an inch, and then these others are not. This does smell kind of dank. A real deep pine to me. It doesn't smell citrusy to me, but a lot of people think like coriander smells citrusy, and I'm just like, really? Like that to me, it smells brown. And actually, this does smell like coriander. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write down that this smells like coriander to me. Okay. So if you're going to put this into kombucha, you wouldn't want to put it in pellet form because the kombucha likes to have surface area to work with. So you kind of smash it down. I'm going to write down coriander-ish. There we go. Okay, so now we have the next one. Oh, I don't know what this one is. This one kind of sneaked in. We'll do that one last. So this next one is called El Dorado. I also put the date on here of kind of when this type came up. I thought I was ordering some heirloom ones, but clearly I did not. That one that we just did was an indie. It was developed in an indie community, and then because there's like a big hops indie community apparently. This one was kind of put forward around 2010, so it's pretty new. So I really want to get in my next batch. I really want to get to the heirloom ones. So I'll do some searching for that. What I didn't mention, what I almost mentioned was on this one on the Strata kind. You see that 12.1. That is the alpha percentage number, the alpha acid number, and that tells you kind of how bitter it's going to be. So when you get like a real like triple IPA kind of real hoppy beer, you're going to see a higher. That's going to come from a higher alpha acid hop. This one, El Dorado, is a 13 to 17%. You can see, and so that's going to be my hoppiest one that I have, and it has citrus, mint, pear, melon, apricot, cherry, and mandarin. And so that to me would seem like it would be opposite to that bitter part. It seems kind of a sparkier kind with all that fruit, but let's take a look. So this one looks about the same and doesn't like come at you in the same way when you open the container. This is definitely lighter. Yeah, I would put this, like, if I were making beer, which I'm not, but if I were, I would put this into, like, not even a grapefruit IPA, like, not even that. It's much lighter. It's really not I like it. Like, I actually like breathing in the smell, like, through my mouth. Like, it has even, like, almost a flavor that kind of makes it to my mouth. I like this one a lot. This is like a real light version of, the best Belgian light, like, yeah, some of my favorite Belgians of yesteryear when I used to drink some alcohol. Okay, so this one is one of our older ones. This is Centennial, and it is from 1990 release. And it has an alpha acid of 9.5 to 11.5%. So this is about my lowest one so far, you can see. And this one has orange, lemon, and floral notes, or so it says. We're going to see. Okay, and I forgot to label this one. I'm going to label it yummy because I think I will like that one. I think that one's going to work well in my kombuchas, which are mostly fruit oriented. Even though that 13 to 17% would indicate that it has a higher hop content. And, I think of hops as being like kind of the in-your-face beers. Okay, so this one you smell it a little bit when it's coming forward. And keep in mind that the people that are labeling these, are also in human bodies. And so what they're going to be smelling with their nutritional background and what their body is responding to may be different than yours. So just because it says it's fruity doesn't mean it is to you. This is a good example of that. This smells like not super heavy dank, but this smells like I can kind of feel it in the back of my tongue. Real kind of resiny. Resiny is the word that feels very correct. Okay, so even though this one says it's the lowest, and it's supposed to have orange, lemon, and floral notes, I get none of those. Maybe the floral one. This would work well in the kombucha that I'm making out of the roasted squash rind that I've mentioned before. I might even put that down here because I've been waiting to see how I want to make that one. Use for squash kombucha. Okay, now we know. So this is a 4-ounce package. I think they sell 2-ounce packages and those were out, which is fine. So this is about volume-wise. Let's see. It's about probably 3/4 of a cup. About 6 fluid ounces. It's 3/4 of a cup for dry ounces. Okay. And then Chinook. Chinook is one of the older ones too. It's from 1985. This has a 12 to 14% alpha resin rating, and I'm thinking this one might be lighter. It might be more like what I like because these higher ones are what I seem to like and what feel to my body more fruity, more kind of just a light, friendlier version. This one says that it has notes of grapefruit, pine, fruit punch, and resin. So let's see. It's called Chinook, like the tribe. I'm also concerned about continuing with this farm because it is super, super massive. And that's just not permaculture forward. That's just not the way to make sure that we can stay on the planet. This one is very piney to me, and it's like real kind of hits you. It's got a real sharp note to it, but it's very piney to me. Yeah, that's the note that I get. It's all about the pine. Okay, I'm going to say piney and sharp. Piney, sharp. Okay, so of the ones that we've tried so far, this is the one that I like, this El Dorado one. I think that one's going to do me real well. And these will keep for a long time. So it's like not a big deal if I'm not going to use them right away. It's okay. And I can use them to like add notes, to things. Or I could make tea with them. I don't have to use them for kombucha, of course. Okay, now we're going to look up Adina real quick because that's our last one. And that's the one that I didn't label, which is, not useful. Okay, we're going to look up Adina and that farm. Here we go. And Adina is from 1940. Let's write that down. So this is the oldest one that I've got access to right now. A New World Noble Variety. Okay, This indicates it's for lighter beers. It says it's herbal, rose floral, citrus, subtle spice, and lemon. And that the alpha acid is 1.5 to 5.5. So this will be really interesting because this is a very different one than the other ones. And you notice these newer ones have much more alpha acid in them. And, some of them have been very specifically cultivated. So, and of course, and that makes sense because I think what I've noticed over the years, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it seems like the more kind of dude bro environment you get into, the more hop beer happens. And when I learned that hops have tons of estrogen in them, and they're there to like they really add a lot of estrogen to your they kind of estrogenate your body. I thought, well, that makes sense why people who have so much testosterone are drawn to them because there's a balancing that we're always trying to do with what we're putting into our bodies, with what we need. And whereas the less hyper masculine people that I know are not as attracted to those heavy IPAs. So it is interesting. Okay, here we go. Adina. This is very light. It is, there's not even a lot to it. It's very light. I can't even really describe it because it's so light. I mean, it does have, it's definitely a hop. Definitely smells like hops, but it's just real light. It's real light. But it's still very herby. So I'm going to put, this wouldn't be something I'd use for like a melon kombucha or something. Okay, very light, very herby. Yeah, so really the only one that will be good that I got for the fruit kombucha is gonna be this El Dorado. So that's good to know. Um, Anything else I need to tell you about hops? I don't know. I am enjoying using the wild yeasts that are on fruit skins, and so I'm continuing to do that. I really am liking that. I think it adds a lot to the kombucha. So between that and adding the hops, there may be a more kind of bar-like flavor to some of my kombucha coming up, but we'll see how we do. I'll stop there, and I'm going to add these. I'm going to crush them up, and when I make my next, today I made honeydew kombucha, which I'm not going to put these in. I might put this one in just a little bit, maybe one of them. Um, but the rest of them I'm gonna leave aside for right now. And I can just feel my body doesn't need those heavier, more herby flavors right now. Maybe because I live in the forest and I'm already getting some of that probably. Um, but I'm gonna try this other one. So we'll see how it goes and I will report back.